Archives. It was made in 1946 and is thought to be the only talk recorded by Miss Lucy Pym, who was, for a short time after the publication of her book on applied psychology, very well known. We must apologize for the quality of the recording. Here, then, is Miss Lucy Pym. She called her talk An Exercise in Misapplied Psychology.
It is perfectly obvious I am here under false pretenses. And it's no good the producer making faces at me. It would be dishonest to say anything else. You see, I have come to the conclusion that as a psychologist, I am a very good teacher of French. I used to be a French teacher, you know, before I wrote the book. And it was because of the book that I found myself at Leys Women's College of Physical Training. You probably know it as PT. In a bedroom of the student wing, asleep.
Or trying to sleep. There never was such a place as Leys for bells. I mean, can you believe that any college, however physical and hearty, begins the day at 5:30? Well, Leys did. Though if the students had any sense, they did what I did that Saturday morning. Turned over and went back to sleep. Where was I? Oh, yes, the book. Well, to be fair, I never pretended to be an expert on psychology. I read a book on the subject out of curiosity. Then I read all the rest to see if they were just as silly. By the time I had read 37, I'd evolved ideas of my own. So I sat down and I wrote reams of refutal, which read quite learnedly because you can't talk about psychology in anything but jargon. There isn't any English for it. Then I wrote a note to the man in the flat below mine, asking him if he would mind not playing his wireless after 11 at night, because I found it so distracting. And I wrote the note on the back of a discarded sheet of the reams of refutal. My typing isn't very professional. And the man in the flat below turned out to be a publisher's reader, and was rather impressed by it. The reams of refutal, not the note. So I signed an agreement with the publisher, and somehow the book proved to be a bestseller. And I found myself famous. Well, learned societies kept asking me to lecture to them. And one of the invitations to lecture came from Henrietta Hodge, who was head girl at school when I was in the 4th form, and who once stood up for me when the 4th form wits discovered that my real name was Letitia. Oh, I was passionately grateful to Henrietta at the time, and I still am. Although, if I had known what was going to happen at Leys, I would never have accepted her invitation. I never really got used to those wretched bells. A born head girl, Henrietta. That's why she became principal of Leys, I suppose. By the time I'd been woken up twice, I was definitely looking forward to getting back to London. The 3rd time was too much. It was 7:30, and I decided to get up. Maybe there was a train earlier than the 2:41 from Loughborough. I blessed the native caution that had prevented me from accepting Henrietta's invitation to stay a few days. If only I had stuck to that native caution. Oh, well. I was just wondering how I was going to find a bathroom when Henrietta came to rescue me. Except it wasn't Henrietta. It was a goddess with golden hair, a bright blue linen tunic, and the most enviable pair of legs. I always notice other women's legs, my own being a sad disappointment to me.
Oh, I am sorry. I forgot that you might not be up. In college we keep such odd hours.
Please don't mention it.
I do apologise for interrupting your dressing. Were you looking for this slipper?
Oh, that's where it is. Thank you. Silly little things, aren't they?
They're wonderful. Anyway, Miss Pym, my name is Pamela Nash, though most people here call me Beau. I'm the head senior. And I came to say that the senior students would be very honoured if you could come to tea with them tomorrow, in the garden.
Well, it's very kind of you, Miss Nash, but I shan't be here. I'm leaving this afternoon.
Oh no, Miss Pym, you mustn't. Oh, you have no idea what a godsend you are to us. It's so seldom that anyone interesting comes to stay. And this is the last term for us seniors, and everything's very grim and claustrophobic. Final exams and the demonstration and being found posts and whatnot, and...
What demonstration is that, Miss Nash? Surely not votes for women. That battle's been won.
No. It's a display of gymnastics by the seniors, when the exams are finished the week after next. In public. Quite nerve-wracking. We've been practising all term, and we're all feeling like death. And our last scrap of sense of proportion is gone. And then you come. A piece of the outside, a civilized being. The frock you wore last night did us more good than all the lectures we've ever heard.
Yes. It is rather nice, isn't it? Shockingly expensive.
Then you will stay?
No, really. I have other engagements, I'm afraid.
Yes, I see. Of course. Well,
Miss Nash, could you direct me to the, staff bathrooms?
Oh, yes, of course. Though the students' baths are nearer, if you don't object to using them. They're cubicles, of course. I mean, they have walls only part of the way up, and the floor is a sort of greenish concrete. But the water's the same.
Oh, I should be delighted. Thank you. As Miss Nash led me along corridors, I pondered her lack of any student-like reverence for the staff. I concluded from her charming air of social ease and equality that her family were well off. She was certainly a very striking girl, quite apart from her legs. Shouldn't you be at some class or another? I take it that if you are awakened at 5:30, you work before breakfast.
Oh, yes. I should be revising my physiology. Here are the bathrooms. I'm afraid you're going to be very late for breakfast.
Oh, dear.
Let me bring something up for you on a tray.
Oh, but I'm sure
it won't be any trouble. I'd love to do it. Do change your mind about staying. It really would give us more pleasure than you can imagine.
What a charming girl, I thought. So imaginative and kind. I even thought it might, after all, be nice to spend a day or two at Lay's. That bell settled it. I was definitely not staying a minute later than the 2:41 from Lavera. Not 1 minute later.
Oh, darling, I'm going to be so late for breakfast. But I'm in a muck sweat, my dear. Oh, I know I should have sat down quietly and done the composition of plasma, of which I know absolutely nothing, my dear. And final quiz is on Tuesday, but it is such a lovely morning. Oh, Donny, darling, I've left my soap behind. Do throw me over yours. You'll have to wait till I've finished with it. Well, my angel, do be quick. Oh, I don't know when I'm going to do that plasma. As for the coat to the stomach, they simply baffle me, my dear. I really don't believe there are 4, anyhow. It's just a conspiracy. Miss Lux says look at tripe, but I don't see that tripe proves anything. Is soap coming up? Oh, thank you, darling. You saved my life. Oh, what a nice smell, my dear. Very expensive. Who's next door to me, Donny? I don't know, Gage, probably. Is that you, Grin Gage?
No, it's Miss Pym.
Oh, no, but really, who is it?
Miss Pym.
It's a very good imitation, whoever you are.
It's little John. She does imitations.
Is it you, John?
Oh!
Oh! Catastrophe! Oh, Miss Pym! Oh, dear, Miss Pym, I do apologise. I abase myself. It didn't occur to me to even think it might be you. Oh, I hope you're not offended. Not terribly, I mean. We are so used to people's skins that...
I quite understand. In any case, it's entirely my own fault for occupying a student's bathroom. Please, don't worry about it for a minute.
But I shall never be able to look you in the face.
I expect Miss Pym is taking the first train back to London.
That is O'Donnell opposite. She's from Ireland.
Ulster. You must think this is a mad heist, Miss Pym. But don't judge us by Dacres, please. Some of us are quite grown up. And some of us are even civilised. When you come to tea tomorrow, you'll see.
Well, actually...
Oh, Lord, the breakfast gong! Oh, I'm going to be so late! Dolly, I'm so grateful for the soap. It saved my life. Dear Miss Pym, we're all looking forward so much to tea tomorrow.
But I'm catching the 2:41 from Loughborough.
I'm so glad you decided to stay for the weekend after all, Lucy. The students are a varied and lively crowd, and the work is very interesting.
They seem to work awfully hard, Henrietta.
Oh, they do. Now, this afternoon, we have a cricket match against Coombe. I can't remember if you like cricket, Lucy.
I can only watch cricket if I have a bag of cherries.
You're still as flippant as ever, I see. I'll send Desterro to keep you company.
Who is Desterro?
A South American. She doesn't play games.
Oh.
Ah, Miss Nash, I'd like you to ask Desterro to entertain Miss Pym when she comes back from her class in Loughborough.
Yes, Miss Hodge.
I'll see you at supper then, Lucy.
Yes, but...
Don't worry, Miss Pym. The nut tart will look after you splendidly.
Not that I needed looking after. I liked my own company very well. However, I was looking forward to meeting a nut tart. Now, why on earth did they call her that, I wondered? Since she was South American, nut could be Brazil, but tart, surely not. However, when she appeared, I began to understand. The other girls were far too austere to wear flowered frocks, cut so revealingly, too.
Good afternoon, Miss Pym. I am Teresa Desterro. You do not care for cricket?
No, not really. How is it that you don't play, Mr. Desterro?
I don't play any games. To run about after a little ball is supremely ridiculous. Now, I came here for the dancing. It is a very good dancing college.
And will you teach then when you go back to Brazil, is it?
Oh, no. I shall get married. I came here to England because I had an unhappy love affair. He was ravishing, but quite unsuitable. So I went to my grandmother and I cried all over her best silk chairs and I said, what shall I do? About my lover, you understand.
Of course.
And she said, you can blow your nose and get out of the country. You can go to England and swear a bit. My grandmother is English, of course.
I see.
So, as I always listened to her, I came here to Lace. They looked a little sideways on me at first when I said I wanted just to dance.
Yes, I was wondering about that.
But one of the students had broken down in the middle of her training. They often do. And do you wonder? So they said, oh well, let this crazy woman, this nut from Brazil, have Kenyon's room and allow her to come to the classes.
And have you enjoyed it?
It has been a liberal education. They are very naive, these English girls. They have raves. They swoon if Madame Lefevre says a kind word to them. Madame Lefevre is a dancing teacher and very strict. I swoon too, but it is from surprise. Have you come to use us as specimens, Miss Pym?
Oh, no, I'm on a holiday visit. In any case, I doubt whether as a specimen a physical training student is likely to be psychologically interesting.
No? Why?
Oh, too normal and too nice. Too much of a type.
Oh,
You don't agree?
I am trying to think of someone, some senior, who is normal. It is not easy. Look at poor Kenyon.
The girl whose place you took. What exactly happened to her?
A crazed nerve. She had a breakdown. It would be difficult for any of them to go through the training here and be quite normal in their last term.
Oh, come. Do you suggest that Miss Nash is not normal?
Oh, Bo. She is a strong-minded creature and so has suffered less, perhaps. Besides, her people are rich, quite rich, you know. They have a butler.
I thought as much.
But would you call Bo Nash's friendship for Mary Inith quite normal? Nice, of course. Quite irreproachable. But normal? No. That David and Jonathan relationship, it excludes so much.
I shall reserve judgment until I've had a chance to observe them properly. But what about Miss Dacres? I mean, what would you say was wrong with her?
Arrested development.
Oh, nonsense. A happy, simple, uncomplicated human being enjoying herself and the world. quite normal.
Very well, Miss Pym. I give you daggers. But I remind you that this is their last term, so everyone is just the least little bit insane. No, it is true, I promise you. If a student is frightened by nature, then she is 1,000 times more frightened this term. If she is ambitious, then her ambition becomes a passion. It is not a normal life they lead. You cannot expect them to be normal.
But on the following afternoon, at tea time, I looked round me at a crowd of happy and excessively normal young faces. The only face that approached distinction, as opposed to good looks, was that of Mary Innes, Beau Nash's Jonathan. Not that Miss Innes was particularly good-looking. Her eyebrows were low over her eyes and gave her face an intensity, a brooding expression. As a matter of fact, I had long prided myself on my analysis of facial characteristics, and I decided that Mary Innes's face was not a contemporary one at all. It was round faces like hers that history was built. Hers were the sort of eyebrows that sent their owners to the stake.
You cannot expect them to be normal.
However, Mary Innes's face was not unlikable. In fact, all the faces round me were likable. That is, until Miss Rouse
Yes, you must
arrived.
save a piece.
Good cook.
I'm afraid I'm late.
Swat.
Miss Pym, let me introduce Miss Rouse.
Oh, how do you do, Miss Pym?
How do you do?
Miss Pym, you haven't had any of my cake.
Oh, well, thank you, Miss Dacres. Do you always bring your own cake to Sunday tea?
Oh, no, this is in your honour.
What you see before you, Miss Pym, is a collection of skeletons out of cupboards. There's no physical training student who is not a secret eater.
Oh, you're so right. There has been no moment in my whole college career, my dears, when I wasn't sick with hunger.
That's why our only crime is ouch!
Oh, sorry, Rouse. Did I kick you?
We had a solemn conclave as to whether we ought to dress for you, Miss Pym.
But we decided that you didn't look very particular. Oh, in the very nicest sense, I mean.
Besides, every moment counts with our final so near. And one needs 5 full minutes to achieve Sunday best.
You do seem to work most awfully hard, but presumably you don't do so much physical work during the final exam week.
The PT demonstration's only a fortnight away, you see.
Oh, I don't know which I dread more, final exams or the dem.
Quite. All our parents come, and people from rival colleges, and all the civic swells of Loughborough.
It's murder.
I like the dem. I think it's fun to show people what we can do. Is there any tea left?
It'll be a bit stewed.
I found the students' collective attitude to Miss Rouse fascinating. Not exactly inimical, merely detached. Rouse herself didn't seem to notice.
What really is murder is waiting to see what you pull out of the post lottery.
What do you mean, jobs? But why a lottery? You know what you apply for, surely.
Oh, very few of us need to apply. Schools that have had Lay's gymnasts before just write to Miss Hodge when they have a vacancy and ask her to recommend someone.
So you see, the most agonising moment of the whole term is when you're summoned to Miss Hodge's room and told what your fate is going to be.
It's not really as grim as it sounds, though. Quite a few of us are provided for already. For instance, I'm going back to my old school as games coach. And the nut, Desterro, of course, doesn't want a post. So there aren't so many of us to find places for.
Thank goodness for that.
Henrietta, what is the college crime?
My dear Lucy, what made you think of that subject?
Well, something someone said at tea this afternoon about their only crime. It was something to do with being perpetually hungry.
Oh, that! Food pilfering. Yes, we do now and then have that. It's not a sign of vice, you know, merely of a weak will. They use up so much energy that their bodies are crying out for sugar.
Yes, they certainly do work hard. What proportion of any one sex finishes the course, would you say?
Of this lot? 80% of finishing. That's about average.
The girl whose place Teresa Desterro took, Miss Kenyon. Now, what happened to her?
Kenyon had a breakdown. Let me get you a cup of coffee.
I recognised that tone. It was Henrietta's head girl voice. It did not permit of further discussion. As I sat by the open window, sipping my coffee, and listening to that frank young voice singing for the love of it, I realised I had been too long in London. I should have a change. Find a hotel on the south coast, perhaps, or go abroad. I mean, one forgets that the world is young.
And what do you think of our students, Miss Pym, now you've had a whole afternoon with them?
I was just thinking, Mum Lefevre, that it was one of the nicest afternoons I have ever spent.
They are a nice lot. They are as the beasts that perish, Miss Wragg. They think that Botticelli is a variety of spaghetti. When it comes to that, they don't know what spaghetti is. It's not long since I informed them during a dietetics lecture that spaghetti and its relations were made from a paste of flour, and that shattered forever, apparently, David's picture of Italy.
And how had she pictured it?
Fields of waving macaroni, so she said.
Well, at least they are free from crime.
Crime?
Yes, Miss Wragg. Miss Pym has just been inquiring about the incidence of crime at Leys. That is what it is to be a psychologist.
Oh, no, Miss Pym. We are an unsensational crowd.
Too normal by half. A little spot of scandal would be nice now and again. Change from handstands and upward circlings.
Oh, now I should like to see some handstands and some upward circlings. Would that be all right if I come and watch the seniors tomorrow morning?
Oh, but of course you must. They're busy with their demonstration program, so it will be a private demonstration just for you. They're one of the best sets we've ever had.
Oh, Miss Hodge, can I have first go of the gym when the seniors are doing the final fizz on Tuesday?
Oh, yes. Let's just discuss the timetable for a moment. Excuse us, will you, Lucy? Yes, of course I will.
May I say, Miss Pym, how much I liked your book? So commonsensical. I'm Catherine Lux. I teach the theoretical subjects here.
Thank you very much, Miss Lux. A colleague's praise is always the most gratifying.
Yes, listen, Miss Pym, you can save my life if you like to. I want to go to a conference in London on Thursday, but that is the day of my psychology lecture. Miss Hodge thinks I'm forever going to conferences, so I can't possibly beg off again. But if you were to take the lecture for me, everything would be grand.
Oh, but I'm going back to London myself tomorrow after lunch.
Oh, no, do you have to?
Oddly enough, I was just thinking how much I should hate going back.
Then don't! Stay for a day or two and save my life.
Well,
This set of seniors are planting themselves out very nicely, don't you agree, Henrietta? Almost without our help. There will be less heartburning than usual.
It continually surprises me how each year the openings come up as the students are ready to fill them. So satisfactory. I don't think we've had a misfit in all my years at Leys. I have heard rumours of a plum, by the way. A really wonderful chance for someone.
Oh, do tell.
No. I've had no official application yet, so it's best not to talk about it.
Well, I'm going to bed. You're not leaving before lunch tomorrow, are you, Miss Pym?
I was actually wondering if I might stay on for a day or two. You did ask me to stay, Henrietta, and it has been nice, you know. I mean, it is interesting to watch a world so different.
Yes. Listen, why don't you stay on till Thursday and take my senior psychology lecture and let me go to a conference in London?
Oh, well, I'm not...
Miss Lux is always running away to conferences. But of course we would be delighted, Lucy, if you'd agree to give the students a second lecture.
Oh, I should like to. It would be nice to feel myself a temporary member of the staff. I should like to very much.
Excellent. Right.
Do you really like this menagerie, Miss Pym, or are you just looking for psychological subjects?
Someone else asked me that today, Miss Lux. But a college of physical training wouldn't be a very good place to look for the abnormal, would it?
Why not? Sweating oneself into a coma doesn't destroy the emotions.
Doesn't it? If I were dog-tired, I wouldn't have any feelings about anything but going to sleep.
Going to sleep dead tired is all right. It's when one wakens up dead tired that the trouble begins.
And is that a common thing, would you say?
I should say that 5 seniors out of 6 in their last term are so tired that each morning is a mild nightmare. And when one is as tired as that, one's emotional state ceases to be normal.
Our last scrap of sense of proportion is gone.
Everyone is just the least little bit insane.
Kenyon had a breakdown.
One's emotional state ceases to be normal.
It's murder.
I had a vision of that circle of faces at tea time. Brown, laughing, happy, confident, tired to the point of abnormality. No, I couldn't believe it. And I was pleased that I wasn't going to catch the train the next day. It was nice to be liked. All the same, it's a pity that some premonition didn't tell me to catch that train after all. But of course, no self-respecting psychologist would have anything to do with a thing so outmoded as premonition.
Come in for a moment while I arrange this morning's post, Lucy, and then I'll go over to the gymnasium with you.
All right.
Now, Miss Meek, the letters are all quite straightforward, I think.
Oh, yes, Miss Hodge. I'll get on with them at once. There was a letter from Arlinghurst. It doesn't seem to be here.
No, that can be answered later in the week.
Arlinghurst? Is that the...
Right, Lucy, if you're ready, I'll be back in an hour, Miss Meek.
Yes, Miss Hodge.
Come along, Lucy.
Yes, Henrietta. Now that was very interesting. Arlinghurst is a sort of female Eton, the school for girls. If that was the plum that Henrietta had been waiting for, then it would indeed create a stir among the seniors. However, the expression on Henrietta's face was somehow guilty. The look of a person who is up to something.
We go up to the gymnasium gallery by this staircase. By the way, you see that machine? That is our vacuum cleaner, the most famous college character of all, known as the Abhorrence. Oh, nature abhors a vacuum, you know.
It's very well named.
Oh, it's unbelievably powerful. Giddy the gardener, who cleans the gym, says that when he has finished, there's nothing left but the fixtures. He is very proud of the Abhorrence. This way.
Do the students mind an audience?
They are very used to one. Hardly a day goes by without a visitor. Ah, here's Fröken Gustafsson, our gymnastics instructor. You didn't meet her last night, did you?
Attention! If Miss Thomas were to pull in her stomach, the line would be improved, I think. And Miss Dacres shows too much chin. So, march! Quieter, quieter. Lightly.
It scarcely seemed possible to march more quietly or lightly, but apparently it was. I slid an eye round to Henrietta and instantly switched it away again. The fond pride on her large, pale countenance was startling, almost painful to see. I hadn't realized how much she identified with her work. Below us, the students were erecting a wooden upright in the middle of the floor and fitting 2 heavy bars, the booms, into its grooved sides, hoisting them as high as they could reach. Then the iron pins were shot home in the upright to secure the booms. The instrument of torture was ready.
Next!
2 by 2, one at each end, the students travel along the booms, hanging by their hands monkey-wise.
Next, Miss Rouse.
Oh, Fröken, I'm not going to be able to do it.
Nonsense, Miss Rouse. You have done rotatory traveling perfectly since you were a junior. You can do it now, of course.
Oh. I knew it. I'm going to be like Kenyon, Fröken. Just like Kenyon.
Miss Rouse, you are not going to be like anyone. It is a knack, that. You will try again. Very well, Miss Rouse, that will do. One half of the boom will be put up last thing at night as it is now, and you will come in the morning early and practice rotatory travelling until the knack has come back. Reverse the booms now.
Poor Rouse. Yes, such a pity. One of our most brilliant students. Brilliant? In physical work, anyhow, most brilliant. She finds written work a difficulty, but she tries very hard. A model student and a great credit to Lays.
What did she mean by being like Kenyon? She's the girl who had the breakdown, isn't she?
Yes. Kenyon suddenly decided that she couldn't balance. She found it impossible to get up from a sitting position on the boom. Just sat there and cried. We're hoping that she'll come back when she's had a rest. She was so happy here.
So happy that she broke down. Below us, the students were performing the exercise that had been poor Kenyon's Waterloo. 2 by 2, they somersaulted upwards onto the narrow ledge of the high boom, turned to a sitting position sideways, and slowly stood up. Slowly one leg lifted, the arms performed their appointed evolution. The faces were calm, intent, the bodies obedient, sure, accustomed. When the exercise was finished, they sank until they were sitting on their heels, upright and easy, put forward blind hands to seize the boom, descended to sideways sitting, and from there to a forward somersault and so to the ground again. No one fluffed, no one failed. The perfection was unblemished. Oh, that was lovely, Henrietta. At school the balance was much lower, wasn't it? Not so exciting.
Sometimes I come in just to see the balance and nothing else. Of course, many people like the more spectacular items, the vaulting and so on.
Well, the vaulting was spectacular enough. The obstacles horrific. And Miss Rouse's performance was brilliant. I mean, Henrietta had been right. Still, brilliant. To me, that meant someone like Beau Nash. An all-round fineness. Body, mind and spirit. As Henrietta and I emerged from the gallery's staircase, the students were running from the gymnasium door.
Oh, Miss Rose! Excuse me a moment, Lucy.
Now, if it had been me, I'd have bolted, but not Rouse. She was positively hanging back in order to lap up Henrietta's words of wisdom. That's what we used to call at school being smarmy. I could not like Miss Rouse. It was a pity because I'd always liked freckles. But really, considering that she had just failed to perform a routine exercise, she had no right whatsoever to be looking smug. However, by Wednesday morning, no one was looking smug. The college was in the throes of final examinations.
Good luck, Beau. And you, Miss Innes, very good luck. Although neither of you need it.
Oh, not at all. I need all the luck I can get. Mary doesn't need any, though.
Nonsense, Beau. Oh, good morning, Miss Pym.
Good morning, Mary.
Beau.
Good luck for the exam.
Thank you.
Come along, Mary. It wouldn't do to be late.
Miss Pym, let us run away together. Let's go to the village. We can have some coffee at the teapot.
I beg your pardon?
It is a coffee house with delicious cakes.
Oh, I see. Are you not taking any of the exams, Mr. Desterro?
Anatomy I shall take, I think. Just, as you say, for the hell of it. Besides, it is a subject that does not get out of date. Now, your subject, if you will forgive me, Miss Pym, is continually getting out of date, no? An idea today may be nonsense tomorrow, but a clavicle is a clavicle for all time. You see?
The teapot was quite frankly charming, with a rich scent of spiced cakes straight from the oven. The coffee was good, too.
A very little milk, please, Miss Pym. She is beautiful, Mary Innes. Don't you think so?
Well, I hadn't thought of her as exactly beautiful. Those eyebrows.
When I first came to Lace, it was raining, and everyone was rushing around college talking about holes and hockey sticks. And then I saw this girl, Ines, who was not running about and not talking, and who looked a little like my great-grandmother's grandmother, whose picture is in the dining room at home. So I said, this place is not after all a barbarism. If it were, that girl would not be here. I shall stay. Oh, excellent cake. Don't you think so, Miss Pym? She is not only beautiful, Mary Ines. She is the only beautiful person at Lace.
Oh, what about Beau Nash?
In England at Christmas time, the magazines give away bright, pretty pictures. Very shiny they are, with...
Oh, now that is sheer libel. Beau is quite lovely, and you know it.
But glossy. Of course, her people have money, while the Ines father is a poor country doctor. I believe he wanted Mary to take a medical training, but Mary has other ideas. She's ambitious, that one.
And any ambition she has will not be lightly given up, judging by her eyebrows. It's strange that she should have reminded you of someone in a portrait. That's how she seemed to me, too.
Ah, yes. My great-grandmother's grandmother. She was a little unpopular. Her husband died too conveniently.